Hello, friends. If you own your home and you just opened your property tax assessment notice in the mail, I need you to stay with me until the very end of this video. Because what I'm about to share could save you hundreds, and in some cases thousands, of dollars on your property taxes this year. And I mean real money. Not the kind of savings where you clip coupons and feel good about 50 cents off a can of soup. I'm talking about 4 specific property tax shields that you are legally entitled to claim right now as a senior homeowner, but almost nobody actually does. Here's the thing most people never find out. Your local county government doesn't automatically apply every tax break you qualify for. They just send you the bill. The money is sitting there. The exemptions are written in your local tax code. But every month that goes by without you filing the right paperwork is another month of overpaying the government. I went through the latest county assessment guidelines, the 2026 property tax laws, and the new state exemptions that just passed. And I found 4 specific shields that millions of senior homeowners are completely ignoring. I'll walk through each one, tell you exactly how the math works, and what you can do to legally cut your bill. Stay until the end because shield number 4 is the Over-65 Enhancement, a massive loophole that can literally cut your taxable home value in half, and almost nobody is talking about it. Real quick before we get into it, if you're not subscribed to this channel yet, hit that button right now and turn on notifications. The rules around property taxes change every single year. Assessment limits shift, new state exemptions open up, old ones get updated. I cover all of that in plain English, so you always know what you're actually entitled to before it's too late to act on it. The people who are subscribed stay ahead of this stuff. The people who aren't tend to find out too late, right when the tax collector comes knocking. So subscribe now, and let's get into it. To understand why your taxes are skyrocketing, you have to understand what's happening in your local real estate market. Over the last 2 years, home values across the country have surged. And when home values go up, your county assessor takes notice. They do a reassessment, and suddenly, your home is worth 20, 30, or even 50% more than it was 3 years ago. You might think that's a good thing, but the county doesn't care about your feelings. They only care about the tax revenue. When your assessed value goes up, your property tax bill goes up with it. And for seniors living on a fixed income, this is a financial crisis. You are literally being taxed out of the home you spent your entire life paying off. The local government isn't going to send you a warning letter explaining your rights. They just send the bill. You have to know the shields that exist to fight back. Let's get right into the first one. Shield number 1 is what I call the Basic Senior Homestead Exemption. This is the baseline protection that almost every state offers, but many seniors miss it because they confuse it with the standard homestead exemption. When you buy a house, you can file a standard homestead exemption, which might knock $10,000 or $20,000 off your home's taxable value. But when you turn 65, you qualify for the Senior Homestead Exemption, and the numbers are much bigger. Depending on your state, this exemption removes anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000, or even more, directly from your home's assessed value before the tax rate is even applied. Let me give you a real example. Imagine your home is assessed at $300,000. Your local tax rate is 2%. Without any exemptions, you owe $6,000 a year in property taxes. But if you file the Senior Homestead Exemption and it removes $50,000 from your assessed value, the county now only taxes you on $250,000. Your tax bill instantly drops to $5,000. That is $1,000 a year, every single year, just for filling out a 1-page form. The catch is that the county assessor does not do this for you. They don't check your age and automatically apply it. You have to walk into the county clerk's office or go to their website and file the application yourself. If you haven't done this since you turned 65, you are overpaying right now. Shield number 2 is the property tax freeze. This is the one that saves seniors from being priced out of their own neighborhoods. Let's say you've lived in your house for 30 years. You love your neighbors. You love the community. But suddenly, young buyers are moving in, flipping houses, and driving up the property values on your street. Your county assessor reassesses your home, and your taxes jump by $2,000. You're on a fixed income. You can't afford that. This is where the property tax freeze comes in. In dozens of counties and states across the country, once you reach a certain age, usually 65, you can apply to freeze your home's assessed value at its current level. Let that sink in. If your home is assessed at $300,000 today and you file the freeze, it stays at $300,000 for tax purposes, even if the house next door sells for $500,000 next year. Your property taxes are locked in. They cannot go up based on neighborhood gentrification or a hot real estate market. Now, there is usually a small catch. Some states allow the frozen value to increase by a tiny, capped amount each year, like 2%, to account for normal inflation. But a 2% increase is nothing compared to the 10 or 15% spikes we've seen recently. If you are planning to stay in your home for the rest of your life, the property tax freeze is the single most important piece of paper you will ever file. It guarantees that your housing costs will remain predictable, no matter what happens to the real estate market around you. Shield number 3 is the circuit breaker credit. This is the safety net that catches people who fall through the cracks of the first 2 shields. Let's say you don't qualify for the freeze, or your property taxes are still just too high compared to your income. The circuit breaker is an income-based property tax relief program available in many states. Here is how it works. The state looks at your total annual income, and they look at your total annual property tax bill. If your property taxes exceed a certain percentage of your income, usually somewhere between 3% and 5%, the state steps in and breaks the circuit. They will either issue you a direct tax credit that wipes out the excess amount, or they will literally mail you a check to cover the difference. Let me give you an example. Imagine your annual income is $30,000. Your property tax bill is $2,000. That means your taxes are taking up nearly 7% of your income. If your state's circuit breaker threshold is 4%, you are paying 3% too much. The state will calculate that difference and refund you the hundreds of dollars you overpaid. This program is specifically designed to protect low to moderate income seniors from losing their homes to property taxes. But here is the part the government won't tell you. The income limits for the circuit breaker are strictly enforced, and they change every single year. If you made a little bit of extra money from a part-time job, or if you took a small withdrawal from your IRA, you might accidentally push yourself over the income limit and disqualify yourself for the year. You have to plan your withdrawals carefully around the tax year to ensure you stay under the threshold and keep your circuit breaker credit intact. And shield number 4. This is the one almost nobody talks about, and for senior homeowners, it is the biggest financial advantage you can get. It is the Over-65 Enhancement, also known in some states as the double exemption. When you turn 65, you don't just get the Basic Senior Homestead Exemption. In many states, hitting this age triggers an additional, massive enhancement that stacks directly on top of your baseline exemption. Let me explain how this stacks. Let's say your state offers a standard homestead exemption of $40,000. When you turn 65, they add the Over-65 Enhancement, which might be an additional $60,000 or more. Suddenly, you aren't just knocking $40,000 off your assessed value. You are knocking $100,000 off. If your home is assessed at $300,000, the county now only taxes you on $200,000. You have effectively wiped out a third of your home's taxable value. In some states, like Texas, the Over-65 exemption is so aggressive that it literally cuts your taxable home value in half. When you combine this with a property tax freeze, your taxes don't just go down for 1 year, they plummet, and then they stay frozen at that incredibly low number for the rest of your life. This is the ultimate wealth preservation tool for seniors. It allows you to age in place, in the home you love, without the constant fear that a new county assessment will force you to sell. But you have to claim it. The county doesn't know you turned 65 unless you tell them, and they certainly don't know you want the enhancement unless you file the specific form for it. Now, here is the catch. Here is the part that costs people thousands of dollars if they aren't paying attention. None of these 4 shields are automatic. You have to file for them, and the deadlines are incredibly strict. In most counties, the window to file your homestead exemption, your freeze, or your circuit breaker application is between January 1st and April 30th of the tax year. If you miss that deadline, you don't just lose the exemption for that year. In many states, you are locked out for the entire calendar year, and you have to pay the full, inflated tax bill. If you just turned 65, or if you just moved into a new house, you need to call your county assessor's office tomorrow morning. Do not wait. Ask them exactly what forms you need to file for the Senior Homestead Exemption, the Property Tax Freeze, and the Over-65 Enhancement. Get the forms, fill them out, and submit them before the spring deadline. So, let's bring it all together. 4 shields for senior homeowners in 2026. The Basic Senior Homestead Exemption, which knocks tens of thousands of dollars off your assessed value. The Property Tax Freeze, which locks in your taxable value so neighborhood spikes don't hurt you. The Circuit Breaker Credit, which refunds you if your taxes take up too much of your income. and the Over-65 Enhancement, which stacks on top of the others to literally cut your tax bill in half. None of these strategies happen automatically. The county assessor is not going to give you a break unless you understand the rules and file the paperwork. That knowledge is genuinely the only thing standing between you and your home. If this video helped you, please subscribe and pass it along to someone you know who owns their home. A husband, a wife, a friend, a neighbor. One conversation can save someone thousands of dollars and keep them in their home for years. I'll see you in the next one.